look at this view, and it just keeps getting better. You got the sunrise in the east, you got fall colors down there in the valley, all the yellows and reds. It's just absolutely beautiful down there. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it is gorgeous. You got this beautiful reservoir. This is Horsetooth Reservoir, by the way, in Fort Collins, Colorado, northern Colorado. Just absolutely beautiful up here. Oh, just incredible. I'm loving this. And you know what, honestly, the shoes, that's right, that's what I'm reviewing today, the Mount to Coast H1. H1 standing for hybrid, a good road to trail shoe, a gravel running shoe, just sits right there in that hybrid area. Now, honestly, today I'm exploring the gravel roads out here, and the shoe feels right at home. I'll explain more about that in a minute, but I am going to be talking about the overall build quality and the comfort, the performance, and the value of the Mount to Coast H1. But first, voiceover Chad, why don't you tell us about some of the specs and features? Oh, and you should subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more coming to the channel. Shoe reviews, run ventures, all that good stuff. Make sure you're subscribed, give the video a like, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this shoe. All right, voiceover Chad, why don't you tell us about some of the specs and features of the shoe?
Mount to Coast states, "We built the H1 to be as adaptable and tenacious as you are, holding steady across shifting sands, transcending distance one step at a time. The H1 thrives through it all, its cushioning, traction, and stability more than matching whatever the landscape delivers." As for some of those specs and features, you get a dual zone engineered mesh upper, which includes a breathable jacquard upper and a Kevlar woven enforced lower fabric, a tuned fit dual lace system, circle cell, supercritical midsole made with 100% renewable feedstock and recycled organic waste, 2mm VersaGrip rubber outsole, 35mm of heel stack and 29mm of toe stack for that 6mm drop, weighing in at only 242 grams or 8.5 ounces in a men's US size 9, and a US MSRP of $160. I should also mention that Mount to Coast did send me these shoes for the purpose of review, but know that all thoughts and opinions are strictly my own, and all the B-roll footage that you're about to see in this video was recorded after this run. Chad, back over to you.
I just can't get over these views. It's just so pretty. Okay, let's talk about the H1 for a little bit. I'll be honest, this is not a shoe that I expected to like as much as I do. And maybe you can tell by the smile on my face or the joy in my voice. But I'm having a great time out here. And like I said earlier, the shoe feels right at home in these gravel roads. But that aside, let's talk about the build quality and the comfort. Now, one thing that I really like about the H1, and I just went through the whole spec, so I don't need to go into detail on that, but one thing that I really like, well, two things actually. Okay, the shoe feels lightweight. I'll talk about that more in performance, but it always feels very good, so comfortable to get into a nice lightweight shoe. It just, I don't know, it makes it feel like it's gonna come to life a little bit more without weighing you down. The second thing that I like is the midsole. That circle foam, it's a supercritical type of foam. It feels lightweight. It is very comfortable underfoot. In fact, that's the first thing that I noticed when I put the shoe on the foot. It's just that cushioning and response that you get underfoot. Feels so nice. Mount to Coast kept things not overly complicated in the shoe, although there's a couple quirks. For example, on the upper, the dual lacing system. I don't think that's really needed for the front laces, and I'll show you. These laces right here, you can tighten them up, customize, which I suppose in theory is a good idea, but honestly, I don't mess with it. I just kind of set it and I leave it, and then I only deal with the upper section as far as my tension around the foot. I do like the materials on the upper. They, again, are comfortable and they are absolutely well made. You get a dual zoned upper, which keeps things comfortable, but also lightweight, breathable, and durable. They're not calling it a matrix upper, but that's basically what it is. Get some really good padding, some good padding in the tongue, which is also gusseted. Thank you very much, to Mount DeCoste, and some excellent padding in the heel. I went true to size, my typical 9.5. I would not size up or down. That seems to be the perfect fit in this shoe. The volume in the upper is very good as well. Just enough room in the toe box, but a good secure hold in the midfoot and in the heel. So all in all, very good materials, very comfortable materials that wrap around your foot in a lightweight package that feels soft and bouncy and dynamic underfoot, offering excellent feedback. And then that outsole rubber, that's probably the weakest part of the whole shoe. I don't feel that that rubber is high quality. It seems to be a little hard, kind of cheap. It gets the job done and is probably durable as far as a longevity perspective, but it's not the most grippy. But if that's the only complaint, and you're running in, mostly road and gravel roads, does just fine. Those 2mm lugs digging into the gravel road just fine, although I do wish that they were more like 3mm. But that's really my only complaint on the shoe. Otherwise, build quality gets 2 thumbs up for me. Really good build quality. Super impressed with Mount DeCoste in this H1, and comfort gets a thumbs up as well. So good. All right, so I just came off the gravel road behind me, and now you can see this is kind of a asphalt, and it gets broken up in sections and a little more precarious, but just kind of give you an idea of some of the conditions that I'm running in. And again, the Mount DeCoste H1 shoe feels right at home. Let's talk about performance. This is a great shoe when you're doing road to trail, but not technical trail. The shoe feels a little wobbly. It's not high stack, which I appreciate, 35mm in the heel, but the foam is soft enough that if you have weak ankles or you're running in more technical terrain, you will get a little wobbly. But that's not what this shoe's for. So running on the roads to the trails, and specifically road and gravel roads, this shoe shines. Speaking of shining, it looks like the sun's right there. Woo! Such a pretty morning. Holy smokes. I'm loving it out here. I love coming around this turn here. I've been exploring the gravel roads, although I'm already somewhat familiar with them. Basically just running every single turn and section of the gravel roads that are out here. But wow, it is just wonderful, so beautiful. I am so grateful to be out here today. Love this so much. Okay, let's move on with performance some more. So a couple things worth mentioning that I really like about performance. I already mentioned it, but the shoe feels lightweight. I also mentioned the circle foam, that midsole foam feels wonderful. I like that it's cushioned when you're just kind of cruising on the downhill or wanting to take it easy, but it's responsive enough. That super critical dynamic component of that midsole foam just feels so bouncy and lively, especially when you start picking up the pace. My legs are a little tired today. I don't feel like running too fast because of how lightweight the shoe feels and because of that underfoot bouncy feeling. You can run fast if you want and have just a very positive experience. I also like the way that the shoe fits around my foot. It's very comfortable, and this is the type of shoe, and Mount DeCoste is known for this, both in their T1, their trail shoe, and the R1, the road shoe. But same is true in the H1. They are known for creating shoes that you can run ultra distances in, whether it's on the road or the trails or some hybrid, gravel road. I absolutely feel like this is the type of shoe that I would run ultra distances in. It is a great training companion. I would do some long distance road and gravel road races or just run ventures. The experience and the performance of the H1 has been so positive that I wouldn't hesitate to grab this shoe. That said, I've looked forward to running in this shoe every single time. Even when I didn't want to wake up in the morning because I was super tired, I still wanted to go running. Part of that was because of the shoe. I wanted to go running in this shoe. I love running in the H1, and I really think you will too. And then last thing, I already alluded to it or mentioned it, but that outsole rubber, It's not the highest performing. It just seems a little more plasticky than rubbery. Not the most grip, although I'm not struggling for grip on, you know, the road conditions like this that are kind of broken up gravel, asphalt and such. But I did notice that on toe off in the steeper sections of the gravel road, my feet were really starting to slip out a little bit as I was trying to push off. So I feel like those lugs could be a little more aggressive, maybe about 3.5 millimeters thick, and go with a slightly softer rubber, but I wouldn't want that to deter from the performance of the longevity or the quality of that rubber as far as how long it's going to last. Okay, now I'm starting to ramble, but I do want to talk about the value of the H1 and compare it to a couple other shoes that maybe compete. Let's get into value. And once again, I'm walking. This is not a See Chad walk video. This is a See Chad run video. I better get to running and enjoy these gravel roads. My car is actually somewhere down in the neighborhood over there, less than a mile away. So we'll talk about value and yeah, wrap up this video. Right now, as always, I feel like there's something I forget to mention or talk about. So if I did forget something, I apologize. Drop a comment down below. Let me know if you have any questions. Or if you have any of the Mount to Coast shoes, I want to know what your experience has been. Have you really liked them as much as I have? Do you have the H1? What has been your experience in that shoe? I would love to hear from you. All right, I'm gonna compare the H1 to a couple other shoes. One, the VJ Flow, also $160, same midsole stack height, similar underfoot feel. The VJ Flow is a shoe that I really enjoyed. I had a very positive experience, and actually I ran out here in the same section. I'm getting so excited, I'm getting out of breath here. The VJ Flow. The other one is the Salomon, they're gravel shoes. What is it, the Aero Spark or Aero Glide? I'll throw a picture here right now, but I enjoyed that shoe and feel like the build quality was exceptional, but it was a little bit heavier. Now, the H1 is the lightest of those three shoes. All three of them are $160. Different drop. Of course, the Salomon having the most stack, which honestly, I don't really feel like I need. I like being just a little more connected to the ground underfoot. So the VJ Flow, man, I'm thinking so fast, I'm getting ahead of myself. The VJ Flow and the H1, I enjoy the experience in those two shoes over the Salomon, even though the Salomon does arguably have the better build. However, if I were to choose just one, I would choose the Mount to Coast H1. I enjoyed all three shoes, but the H1 offers the more positive, the overall more positive experience. I love its performance. I enjoy its comfort. It's just as comfortable as the VJ Flow, but the H1 is a little bit more lightweight and has just a little bit more bounce underfoot. Now, I will say that the VJ Flow is probably the better shoe for road to trail when you're going to be running a little bit more trails, but the H1 excels if you're doing more of the road running and the gravel road running. So if you're into that type of running or you're going to be doing that type of running, definitely consider the H1 over the other two options that I just mentioned. Now, at $160, is that worth the price tag? I think so. I think this is going to be a shoe that will last a very long time. You can do all of your training in and racing. Oh, there's a deer I just scared. There's one right there as well. So $160, I would give that a thumbs up. I think that is worth the price tag, especially compared to the competition. Now, of course, if you can get that shoe cheaper, $40, I think that would be a very great buy. Still crazy to think that, you know, $150, $160 is considered a good value. It's still a lot of money to spend, but it's kind of where we're at for good premium shoes these days, especially when you're talking about some of those super technical and nice, well-advanced midsole foams that you get in the H1. All right, I'm getting closer to the car, having a great time out here on these road, broken up asphalt and true gravel road conditions. Loving exploring, loving the views that I was able to see. Holy smokes, that was wonderful. Looks like I am approaching 11 miles Probably hit 11 and a quarter by the time I get to the car. All right, last thing I want to mention, and maybe in conclusion, I feel like this shoe is, the Mount DaCosta H1 is a road shoe with trail running technicalities and components intertwined within the shoe that make it a phenomenal hybrid, giving you that positive experience on gravel roads like this, and certainly on asphalt as well. That underfoot performance, it feels great. It's bouncy and it's cushioned. It's a lightweight shoe, which always feels good, especially when you want to start picking up the pace. You're feeling a little lively and you've got some energy. Yeah, you can pick up the pace and you're just gonna feel great in this shoe. It'll perform and stay right there with you like a best friend or a good running buddy. See, running on the asphalt feels great. So I recommend the shoe. I recommend you check it out. I do not have an affiliate link to Mount DaCosta, but you can check out my affiliate links for some other brands, and if you use that to purchase any of your gear, it just goes to help the channel out. Also consider joining the channel membership, only $1 a month. I would appreciate that. And again, if you made it this far in the video and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Subscribe. All right, I'll see you on the next video. I made it to the car. Time to go home, get some breakfast, see the family. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for being here. Remember to be consistent, express gratitude, and enjoy every mile, as I certainly have today in the Mount DaCosta H1, a shoe that I didn't expect to like as much as I do. All right, see you on the next video. Bye now.